So welcome back to our series on hip and leg. In this video we're going to be looking at different self-massage and acupressure points that you can use to help keep yourself further pain-free.
Self-massage for the lower body usually requires an instrument of some kind, the most common of which you can find in almost any sporting goods store is a foam roller. Foam rollers are great for the upper portion of the lower body, for example, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quads. The idea is to place it on the floor, on a hard surface of some kind that you can also sit on, and roll the affected area on the roller, using your body weight to apply pressure. Some people find that the foam rollers themselves can not be quite strong enough for them, so to foam roll you don't actually need foam. Some people will use harder objects such as PVC piping or rolling pins, but these are things you want to be very careful with. It shouldn't be extremely painful, though anyone who has foam rolled will probably report that it is not comfortable. Another very valuable tool when you're doing self-massage is going to be a tennis ball. This can be great for the bottom of the feet. Put it on the floor and rub the arch of your foot up and down on it. This is great for people who are on their feet all day and have very sore feet, or people dealing with plantar fasciitis. You can also work on your calf without any tools at all except for your hands. What you would do is knead up and down with your thumbs and your palms, bringing blood to the surface and getting everything moving. This is very important for your entire body, for your circulation, to get blood pumping back up and through the body.
So when it comes to acupressure, there are a lot of different points in the lower body. There are a number of which that are very useful for conditions of the back or the hip, but we can't often talk about points directly in the back or the hip because you can't feel around or look around to see where it is that you're poking at. So one typical strategy that you can do if you're trying to find an active point on yourself is to trace around the edge of the sacrum, which is the triangular bone at the base of the spine, to trace around the edge of the sacrum and also into the glutes themselves to see if you can find a point that is tender, tighter than surrounding areas, or otherwise sore, and press and hold that for 5 to 7 seconds with some generalized intense pressure. That can be an excellent way to help relieve or otherwise diffuse pain in the lower back or with other kinds of back and leg problems. Most of the acupressure points that we're going to discuss today are going to be on the calf and the shin. The first one they're going to want to discuss is a very commonly used acupressure point called stomach 36. This point is found on the front side of the shin, and to do so you have to take your fingers, close the fingers together, and place the edge of the pointer finger at the topmost part of the tibia, which is the shin bone. Where the pinky ends, on the underside you are going to roll off the shin toward the little toe. You'll often find a small divot in the bone and come across a point that when you press is very tender to the touch. This point is often used for issues of generalized fatigue, pain in the shin, and other digestive complaints. All of this can be greatly helped by working this point generally. As with any acupressure point, you'll want to massage, press and massage, typically 5 to 7 seconds, usually in a clockwise motion, although different degrees of motion are really not that important. And try and press as though you are you're really trying to get in deep into the body. Another point that we commonly use is on the other side of the shin, close to the knee. As you trace the shin bone up, you're going to find a point where the shin curves and flares out to the side. When you reach that point, you're going to roll into a small depression right in the musculature. You don't want to press on the bone or the tendons. Instead, you're going to want to stay right in the musculature, you'll find that this point is often extremely sore, particularly as people get older. Pressing in this point and also this first one, stomach 36, these two are excellent for issues and pain that are around the knee, or, into the shin and calf directly. Beyond that, we'll move down towards the ankle. One of the main points that we want to use at the ankle is a point called spleen 6. To get to this point, you're going to do the same measurement that you did previously, so you bring all the fingers together and put the edge of the pinky at the height of the inside of the ankle bone, and where the pointer ends, roll off the shin bone toward the heel. You'll come to a point that has a small depression. Typically the bone is a little bit divoted here, and this point is also often tender. Most acupressure points are tender when you press on them. This point is excellent for other problems of the ankle and in the shin, where pain is traversing the length of the shin, and can often be used in conjunction with the one that I previously mentioned. Moving into the foot, we're going to discuss two more points. One is found in between the two long bones of the first and second toes, the big toe and the toe next to it. It is found in the webbing between them. If you press down, you'll often find a point that is very tender. This is typically more tender in women than in men, and is excellent for relieving things like menstrual cramping, generalized stress and fatigue, and frustration that can happen in both sexes. It's an excellent point to massage at the end of a long day if you're having a particularly stressful day, or otherwise having some generalized tiredness. This is typically pressed in up towards the body, or down deep as though you're trying to press down through the foot into the bottom of the foot. The last point that we want to discuss is a point called kidney 1. This point is on the bottom of the foot, and it's found by tracing an imaginary line from the base of the heel to the top of the ball of the foot, and about 1/3 of the way back from the top of the ball of the foot, you're going to find a point that is, again, like all others, sore to the touch. Pressing this is excellent for helping to ground a person, so this is great for cases where a person is very tired and needs to rest. It can also be great for women dealing with hot flashes, or people who are dealing with generalized anxiety or other kinds of conditions where they're feeling very emotionally overcharged and need to find some centeredness. As I said before, all of these points should be pressed for 5 to 7 seconds. They can be done repeatedly throughout the day. And for more information on acupressure, we encourage you to check out our blog, because we put out a lot of information for treating different conditions with acupressure points that you can use to help yourself. So we hope this information for self-massage and acupressure has been helpful for you. In our fourth and final video for hip and leg, we'll be discussing issues of posture that will be important to help you keep you pain-free and moving throughout the day when you have many things to do.